Hi, I'm Alex Archbold, and I've been buying and selling antiques since I was 9 years old. From basements to scrapyards, I'll look just about anywhere I can to find lost antiques and collectibles. And sometimes I'll go big and buy everything. I never know what's going to happen or who I'm going to meet. This is our life, this is our adventure, and this is Curiosity Inc.
I'm home, honey.
Good morning, guys. Today is Rockin August. It's an annual car show held in St. Albert, Alberta. It's one of the biggest ones in my area. And being a bit of a car guy, I figured I best go down. Well, I'm gonna get the garage door opened up. Oh, not that one. Get that one opened up. And we're gonna head on down there to the show. And luckily for me, I've got options. The 69 Porsche, the Mustang, the Citroen. Well, the Citroen, it's not quite done. It runs and drives, but it needs some cosmetic stuff. I'd probably take that one because probably hardly anybody has seen one of those things. So next time, maybe I'll take that out. I think today it's gonna be the Jag, which is sitting way over there. Can't take the Daimler because it's got no wheels. And it's also not running. There's a few reasons why I'm not taking that car. Someday soon. But I'm gonna get the Jag pulled out and get it ready to go. I always like to bring some car polish and stuff with me so I can clean it when I park there. Time to go for a ride. I've always liked the interior of the Jags. You've got the wood rim steering wheel, gauges galore. They really tried to make it like an airplane with all these toggle switches for everything. There's your wiper, there's your map, starter button, so you turn the key on, hit the starter button, and then your choke is off to the side. There you go. See, the light's on when it's working. Fuel gauges that mostly work. Right now, my fuel gauge has been acting up. And it says I'm empty, even though it has a full tank. I'm gonna have to fix it. Occasionally, it'll flip back up to the proper spot. Oh, it can get stuck in there a little bit sometimes. That's a little bit of a problem, but I know that I do have gas in it. And yeah, that's about it. I think gonna let it warm up for a minute and then we'll head out. Made it to the show. The car is all polished up. I got a stowaway with me. Abigail came. And what did you attach to my car? Or I guess what did you get from my car?
A balloon.
That's right. She saw this balloon they were giving away and it made its way to the car. But look, we're like the only car that has a balloon, so that makes it extra special. Super special. So for the last few minutes, we've been going around and they've got all these vendors that are advertising here, but they give you stuff like sunglasses and water bottles, candy.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go have a look around at the other cars and kind of take in the day. It's a beautiful sunny day. After what was a week of rain, this is a perfect time to come down to the car show. Abigail's, one of her favorites so far is this 54 Ford that's next to us. And what was it you liked about it, honey?
I like the wheels and the color.
The wheels and the color. Yeah, it is a very pretty color of blue, isn't it? So we'll go see if there's any more abtastic, abagorific cars out there. And we'll go take in the car show. I thought I'd open the hood up to kind of show off the engine bay, but my hood springs are, they kind of work, they kind of don't. So I went and grabbed a free complimentary water bottle and that's my hood prop. So if anybody comes over to look at my car, they're gonna see the unofficial Jaguar water bottle hood support. I have to remember that that's in there before I try and put the hood down later too. Anyway, that way people can see the whole front clip moves forward so you can access the engine. It's actually a really neat design. You can get to everything on this with ease. Maybe, Abigail, I'm gonna wipe down the top of the engine before we go for our walk because I wanna get the water droplets off the top there. Aside from the car show, the St. Albert Farmers Market happens at the exact same time. So while the car is parked, we can walk around and find some treats and treasures and kind of just enjoy taking in the scenery on the way to look at more cars. There's lots of good food trucks here too. There's plenty to do on a bright sunny day like today. I have one weakness, and that's fresh garden peas. I am gonna have to buy a Santa Claus size sack That seems to be how I measure things lately, by whether it's the size of a Santa Claus bag. We'll get some of these and we can snack on these at the car show. We just have to pay for the peas and we're up next. The perfect snack for a car show. Okay, we're gonna make our way through this crowd back into the car show and probably go hang out by the vehicle, but we're gonna go take in the cars, see what kind of cool stuff has arrived at the show. We've made it back to the car show. One of the first things I see is there's another California special like ours. They're an unusual vehicle, and yet this is the second one I've seen here today. Red vinyl top, red interior, white body. It's definitely an unusual color scheme. I can't say I like it better or worse than the green one that we have, but they've definitely done some upgrades to the engine in here. Some definitely a little zippier than what mine is, but a nice clean car. And they didn't make a whole lot of these, so it's nice to see them out at the car show. I see a Chevy Bel Air wagon there, maybe a Nomad. We've got the van club. There's always, if you ever see a van like this, walk up to it and look, there's always some kind of airbrushed graphics on the side. So he's being knighted with what looks like a lightsaber. That would hurt.
Oh, my arm. You weren't supposed to use a lightsaber.
I don't know why he's like French Canadian all of a sudden. But look at the door handles. You see this on lowriders where they send these in and people do etching or engraving on the door handles like that. Somebody spent some serious time on this. Okay, we were marveling at the van and walking away, and Abigail said, look, what did you see?
This.
There's like a tiny little statue of a of like a warrior or something inside the signal light. That is taking your details to the next level. Oh yeah, look, there's jousting on the front. Okay, I could have fun looking at this van all day long. But look at the interior of this thing. Heart's Desire. The van is a rockin'. It's got the blacklight Woody Woodpecker, or not Woody Woodpecker, that's the Roadrunner on the back wall. It's got a record player, the barrel lanterns, crushed velvet. It's pretty neat. Look at all the gauges up top there too. 8-track player. This is deluxe, and I guess that's where you sleep, is back there in the little the furry cave. I'm gonna come around this side. Many a dad in the 70s was nervous seeing the boyfriend pull up in a van like this. Especially with the heart-shaped hole in it. Well, that's something. Not much leg room though. If you're lying that way, you'd have to kind of curl up in the fetal position to fit in there, or I guess if you're smaller, you'd fit just fine. Cool little thing. Look, it's got the blacklight paintings on the wall. I always find vans and campers so cool. Well, let's keep on looking. So we've got the Nomad right here, the 2-door wagon. Pretty hot car, and it's looks like it's basically stock other than the rims. Interior looks nice. I'm sure the engine's souped up a bit. Yep. Non-stock engine, but what a cool vehicle. And of course, across from it, you got another Chevy, but that's a gasser. You see how high up off the ground that is, honey? People used to race them like that. Big fat tires on the back and jacked way up in the front. It's a different sort of look. I'm sure it's an experience to drive around town in traffic. This is kind of a different build. Somebody's taken a 49 Fargo truck and they've kind of tubbed the back end a little bit and made a completely custom front end for it, the likes of which I've not seen. It's got sort of a racing stripe detail, but you know, people get out there, they have fun with their vehicles and they build something, they create, and they build it just the way they like. Some people might think that car shows are for the birds. That's because every year these folks come down with their exotic birds, their parrots, and they let people and kids come up and visit with them and generally just have fun. So if you want to look like a pirate while you're here, this is your way to do it. Yar! Some of you might recognize this car. It's a replica of the 32 Ford that Milner drove in American Graffiti. Probably one of the most recognizable movie cars that's out there. Really nicely done. But one trend that's been really popular lately is in fact not to restore a vehicle at all. It's the patina look, where you get it running, driving, mechanically sound. And if it's as solid as this truck is, you actually just oil or clear coat the paint and leave it just the way it is. It's a lot less expensive to do. And frankly, it's kind of a neat look. Speaking of movie cars, this is just like the Smokey and the Bandit Trans Am, that you just need a Burt Reynolds mustache to get behind the wheel of that and then start losing Smokey on the highway with your other bandits on the road. Cool looking vehicle, and they're really becoming quite collectible. Here's an unusual car. It's a Sierra RS Cosworth race car. For those of you that are kind of into the more unusual vehicles, that's definitely one. Here's a pretty unusual car. It is a 1936 Dodge Rat Rod. It's got spiders welded onto the air cleaner. It's got all sorts of details. There is a shotgun for an emergency brake. I love the detail that people put into these rat rods because it's not anything like you see on the road out there. And I'm sure it's a blast to drive. Is this your car? And is it a blast to drive this thing around? I bet. Okay, so is that your emergency brake handle there, or? Oh, that's your shift. So you have to reach out of the car to shift? Well, that's different. Okay, so that's your shifter, he says. So you're driving and you actually have to reach out the window and shift with your shotgun right there. Super cool. Truth be told, if I could add one more vehicle to our collection, it would be something like this 1960 Volkswagen 23-window Samba bus. It is absolutely stunning and kind of a coral on black combination. Ideally, we'd find one that was sort of a turquoise or a baby blue and white, but you know, I wouldn't be picky, I don't think. Beautiful thing. Melissa loves these as well, and it's always good to have a vehicle that your wife is crazy about too. We did have a nice Volkswagen bus, a project, but it was going to need a little bit more work than we needed, and I ended up trading it for the California Special Mustang, which I think was still a good trade at the end of the day. But I still have a thing for these. They're very, very cool vehicles. There's always a wide variety of vehicles at these car shows, and sometimes groups park together, like Corvettes together or Mustangs together. But it's nice when you see a mix like this. You got a Corvette, you got a Chevy Impala, you got a Dodge. This is like the one from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, except it doesn't have the wood paneling on the side. If you remember that movie, Steve Martin and John Candy driving down the highway in one of those. And then next to this, you've got a racing Mustang Fastback that is jacked way up. I definitely must take this thing to the track. It's got Mickey Thompson slicks on it that stick out quite a ways past. I wouldn't want to be hitting rocks. It'd be flipping up down the side, but really interesting looking vehicle with a plethora of gauges all over the place. You know what's happening on this vehicle. Every gauge will tell you. And under the hood, Cobra Le Mans engine. We've been enjoying the show so far. I believe that Melissa and Steven and the kids are going to come down and join us here today. So we're holding back on getting ice cream and mini donuts and stuff for now. That'll change later though, right? Yep. But so far, a beautiful day to spend with my daughter. You know, I'm parked right there. And some of you might know that I collect Redline Hot Wheels. And look what the guy behind me has. He has a display in the back of his truck of Redline Hot Wheels. Let me tell you, okay, they're not all Redline, I don't think. Cockney cab. Oh, that pink Cadillac's a good one. I think that's a repop though. But that would be a good one. Let me point at the good ones. That one would be. That one. I don't know. Basically, if it's kind of an odd color that they didn't make a whole lot of. That's an unusual one. That is one of the later red lines they came out with. Well, I'm gonna peek around. Look, there's another case of them on the other side. Everybody's looking at the big cars here, and I'm looking at the little ones. Oh, and then he has a whole bunch of miniatures of his actual car. Well, I am doing what you do at a car show when you have an old car. You sit on a lawn chair, you talk to people about your car, you got the hood up, and you enjoy the day. Melissa and Steven and Jason and Abigail are walking around the farmer's market where we were earlier, and probably eating, and I don't know what else they're doing. They're going to come back at some point here. But in the meantime, I've met all sorts of great people. Some folks that recognize me from YouTube, we chatted, and also got a couple leads on people that have some interesting things for sale. So sometimes there's a benefit of coming to these car shows, even just to network too. One fellow who I did a scrapyard tour at, I thought he scrapped everything. Apparently he kept 60 of the very best cars that he had, and he moved it from his scrapyard out to his farm, and he invited me out to go have a look out there. So maybe that'll be a future video as well. I might do a little bit more of a walk around, but for now it's just chatting, meeting with people, and enjoying this beautiful day. And that's it, the end of the show, as I follow an AC Cobra out the gate and on my way back home. It's always a fun event. If you ever have a chance to make your way out to St. Albert, Alberta in August, Rockin August is a great fun family activity. Lots to do, lots to see, and maybe one day we'll see you guys here too. Anyway, thanks for watching today's episode. My little tour of the car show here. Got to spend some time with Abigail, who is now gone home with her mom. And I'm gonna cruise my way all the way home. So safe driving to you guys. We'll see y'all soon, and as always, bye for now.